Most photographers know about setting up the hues of the colors that live in their photo, but almost nobody talks about what I would argue is more important, which is the saturation of colors. Because here's the truth, every color in your image that isn't actively supporting your color palette is drawing attention away from the colors that actually are. Photographers often make the mistake of having too many competing colors in the frame that actually draw the viewer's attention away from where you want them to actually be looking. And one of the things that frustrates the most is that no matter how good your color grade is, those rogue and stray colors are actually making the photo look more uncontrolled. Let's go into Lightroom and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so I have this photo here from a recent shoot that I did, and all that's been done here is within the basics to get the lighting all shaped up, and we've got the tone curve already setting up this photo, but there's a couple key concepts that I have to list out before we get into this process. So most people believe that color grading is done within the color grading tab, but 90% of color grading is done within the color mixer tab. And so if this is where we're setting up 90% of our photo, then it is so important for us to get it right here before we go any further into color grading. And so naturally, first what I'll do is I'll set up within my lighting, then I'll go to my color, and that'll go to the color grade. And that's the process in which I follow because the lighting sets the mood, the color enhances it, and then the color grade just boosts and enhances what you've already set up in the color palette that you've chosen within your color mixer tab. And the second concept that I'm going to reinforce and show you here in a second is that when we're thinking about managing our colors and managing the saturation, we want to make sure that the saturation of a color is pointing attention to a subject. And the way that we can do that is by either enhancing the colors of our subject or surrounding colors or desaturating the colors within the rest of the frame. And the way that that points attention to the subject is because it's drawing less attention to those parts of the frame. And the reason why this works so well is because the eye is naturally drawn to the most saturated in the brightest parts of a photo. So with those two key concepts out of the way and listed, let's go into first managing and picking up which color palette we're going to choose. And if you're wondering about what's a color palette and how are you going to choose one, well, I'm going to list out four key color palettes that I use. The first one is a complementary color palette, and that's basically where you have one color on one side of the color spectrum and one side on the other. And what that does is it actually creates the highest amount of contrast within a photo. And then we have split complementary, which is where you have basically the same as a complementary, but then you're adding in one more color to support that color grade. And so for us, that could look like having the skin tones, which are somewhere over in here in these orangey reds. We've got the sky sitting somewhere over in these blues. And then we've got another color sitting in the next part of the color spectrum, which would be somewhere within this yellowy green, which is perfect because we have these green tones right in here. And then the last two color palettes that I use is analogous and monochromatic. Monochromatic is just where you have one color that is basically filling up the entire scene. So that could be for us like everything in this photo is going just strictly orange and strictly towards one specific color and shade of orange. And then analogous is where you have multiple colors that are stretching across one side of the color spectrum. So for us, that could be like yellow, orange, red, and even some of these deep reds. And that's creating like a little bit of a wave around part of the color spectrum here. But for a photo like this, I want to create something that looks really stunning, but something that works with the colors that are already in the scene because this photo is naturally beautiful because of the colors that already live here. And I just want to enhance those. But when we're enhancing them, they still need to fit within the color spectrum of complementary or split complementary. And so for me, what I'm going to be choosing is I'm going to be choosing a split complementary because we've got our skin tones, which are sitting somewhere in these oranges. We've got the sky sitting in these blues. Then we've got the greens, which are in the grass. So what I'm going to do is go to the color mixer tab here, and I'm going to start shaping my photo around this complementary. So I like where the skin tones are sitting. I might push them just slightly more toward that red tone, get those reds, pushing them a little bit more towards that orange. Okay, and now our blues need to sit opposite on the color spectrum. So we're gonna push those a little bit more teal instead of like this deep blue purple. So those are gonna go more teal. This is already starting to shape up really nicely. And then our yellows and greens are gonna go more so towards that yellow. So I'm gonna push my greens a little bit more yellow and my yellows a little bit more towards that green. And so this is what I like to call grouping my colors. So I'm finding groups of color tones. So for us, that would be our reds and oranges, that would be our yellows and greens, And then we've got our blues and aquas, which are creating that blue tone. And if you're thinking to yourself right now, where in the world are you getting these concepts from? I've never really heard people talk about grouping your color tones or choosing one dominant color or choosing a color palette and like setting it up. It seems like you've got a pretty dialed in system. Well, this was actually a system that I personally built out myself. I was so sick and tired of watching tutorials online, not really getting the answers that I need within an actual system. And so, if you're looking for a system to create cinematic looks like this and you want to learn more about this, especially after watching this video, so that you can go back and learn more about this system, then I actually created a program called the Cinematic Blueprint. And that has steps like what I'm teaching you here, but then more steps about color grading and breaking down the exact system that will work for any photo shot in any environment. Literally, I'm following the system right now. And if you want to get that system, it's actually for 50% off right now to waitlist subscribers. And it's never going to be at 50% off again. So you'll definitely want to grab that and pick that up. But diving back into our lesson here, we are going to go into what this video is about, which is the saturation. So when we look at our photo right now, we need to think about what's drawing attention away from the subject. So I'm noticing a couple things. The first is that our blues are way too saturated and these greens and these yellows are way too bright. And what's happening is our subject has no longer become the main focus of this. They've actually kind of just blended and faded into the background. And so, first, I need to manage my blues because that's pulling so much attention to the top of the frame when I want my viewer to be looking right here on the right third of the frame. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to desaturate that color and I'm going to lower the luminance because I want to still have some good contrast in the sky, but without lowering the luminance, it's just going to kind of look washed out. And so I still want to create a nice amount of depth in that. But when I lower the luminance on a color, it actually begins to saturate that color more. So I need to go back into my blues, desaturate just a little bit. And so I'm still picking up these color tones here, and now one of the things I see is these yellows are way too bright. So I'm going to lower the luminance in that, but it's also adding more saturation. So I need to desaturate a little bit here, not too much. Bring up the luminance just a little bit. I want it to look natural within the whole frame. So if I were to go too far, something like this, that doesn't look natural to like what an actual scene would look like. And so something like this looks more natural. So this is definitely helping our scene a lot more because it's not pulling the eye directly to there. If I were to reset, you can see just how much brightness we have here within that yellow. And now it's so much more managed. I might even go a little bit lower, lower some of those greens. Okay, perfect. So now our subject is more the focal point, and there's less attention drawn to the grass, less attention drawn to the sky. Even though there's some nice saturation still sitting there in those colors, it's not being drawn directly to the colors themselves. And so I'm going to bring up a little bit of saturation on these oranges just to make his skin tone pop, make this Harley Davidson logo pop more. And that is looking so, so good so far. Raise a little bit more saturation. Perfect. All right, so effectively what we've been able to do is fit our image into a color palette, and we've been able to separate the subject more from the scene. We've been able to do that just by lowering the saturation on parts of the scene, but then as well lowering the luminance. And so what that's doing is it's creating more depth, allowing our subject to pop more. Now, obviously, you can make them pop more by adding masks, or even by darkening parts of the scene. For sure, you can definitely do that, but it is so important to set this up first and foremost within the color mixer tab. And so now when we go into pushing a color grade on top of this look, it's just going to flow naturally. So we're going to push in some of these warm highlights here. We're going to push in some of these warm midtones, not too heavy. And then we're just going to push in these blues to correct and make sure that these blacks are neutral black. So let's turn the color grade off and on. We're just adding some nice warmth, and that's actually fitting in perfectly with the scene because we set up our color palette and we can see that now the colors, they're still there, they're still alive in the scene, but they're not drawing too much attention away from the subject themselves. And maybe what we could do is we could even lower a little bit of saturation on the yellows and the greens. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to even lower the luminance a little bit more. Perfect. And so you can see that from what we had before, Like where we have this, where the colors are drawing your attention away from the subject, especially because they don't fit first and foremost into a color palette, but then as well, they're way too saturated in comparison to our subject. Then we go to the final. This looks so clean because these yellows aren't drawing your attention away. The blues aren't drawing your attention. Let me just pull these up side by side so you can really see what's going on. So these blues are a little less saturated, but they also fit to blend in nicely with the skin tones here. And then the yellows aren't drawing your attention because they actually fit within the color palette, but they are deeper and darker in the scene. And so if you were to take away one key lesson, make sure that your colors that are saturated within the rest of the scene aren't drawing attention to that part of the scene away from the main subject. When a viewer is looking at your photo, you want them to originally look at the subject and then filter out the rest of the photo of what's going on, what's the environment like, all the rest. But when somebody's looking at your photo, the best qualifying factor is when they look at the photo, see your subject, and then blend out to the rest of the scene. And you should be able to know exactly what they're looking at because that's originally what you're looking at when you see your photo. All right, so if you found this video helpful and you want to learn more color grading tips like this, then I think you'll really like this video here. So I'll see you over there. All right, peace.